1 clock says it's 5:30. Welcome to the Board of Civil Authority meeting for January 27th, Tuesday at Town Hall. Here we are, and anyone on Zoom yet?
Nobody's on Zoom, no.
Shall we say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag? Everyone? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have no minutes to, no approvals or anything. So we're gathered here to, the first thing on our agenda is to review and adopt the rules of procedure for the property tax assessment appeals. You received in your packet something from Vermont League of Cities and Towns. And then Amy has come up with our new rules. And do you want to speak to those at all?
I can. Does everybody know what the the tax appeals is for? Anybody have questions around that? So people can grieve to the listers their property assessment, and if the listers don't do what the person wants them to do, they can file an appeal, and the appeal comes to the Board of Civil Authority. So then we have to schedule a meeting and discuss their appeal. And then that's kind of what the Board of Civil Authority does with tax appeals. You decide if the listers kind of agree with the listers or disagree with the listers, and that's what that is about. So there's the rules and procedures around that meeting. So we're adopting those rules and procedures that govern that meeting.
Which is different than tax abatement, which we kind of know about.
Yep.
We've
So
had a lot lately.
a lot of these come through on years where we have a reassessment, like the town-wide reassessment. We have a lot of these meetings those years. We don't have a lot of them routinely, yeah.
Amy, it doesn't appear that it's changed much or any since we've been operating under anyway, right?
Right. There's really no changes. I just kind of, as the new town clerk, wanted to adopt them under me, just to kind of, as a formality, I guess. So we would.
Yes.
So, paragraph C2.
Paragraph C2.
C2. The rules and procedure for property tax assessment appeal hearings. That's a document. You got the right document.
Yep, C2, yep.
It says a quorum of the BCA will be any 3 or more members for a tax appeal hearing. The act or decision of the majority of that quorum will be treated as the act or decision of the full BCA. That's not new.
No, that is not new. No, that's not new.
It's always been treated that way.
Yep. Yep. So
Which is way different than tax abatement. And
right.
so's the 10-minute limit. But that's a nice thing. So there are some differences, but
Yeah.
this is tax appeal.
Right. So I did put that 10-minute limit in there. Obviously, if somebody goes over 10 minutes, that's okay. It's just more of like we don't want somebody to go an hour, talking about, because people tend to repeat themselves.
Well, and
If
as
you don't give
chair,
too much time.
I try not to cut people off, right? Not as good as Arnie. But but certainly if someone was going on and on, this gives the chair the, I don't want to say authority, but
Kind of,
wiggle room authority to say, okay, you have 2 more minutes or one more last comment and then you're done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, the only reason I raised that paragraph is because I was a little surprised to see that 3 members of this board constitutes a quorum, and that a vote of 2 out of those 3 carries decision.
yeah, but remember, it's not, it's tax assessment appeal.
Understand,
But-
so if I understand the process correctly, 3 people are assigned to go do a site visit. If there's an appeal, and the next step would be 3 members of this body would be appointed or volunteered to go do a site visit and then make a decision or
So
come
it's-
back to the board
Right, come back to the board,
with
right?
their report.
Yeah.
And then if they were the only 3 people there, they could vote on it.
Yes.
Yep.
But his vote,
I
yeah,
would just like to note one thing here, and maybe it's a mute point, but it says pursuant to 24 VSA statute 801. So it almost sounds like it's being dictated to us by a state.
It's a
State
statute,
rule.
yes.
It's a
Regardless of whether we agree with it or not, it's
So
a done deal.
I just wanted to flag that because that seems, that just caught me off guard. That 2 people out of this entire body could vote for a reduction of an assessment. And with what
That's why it's
qualifications?
important for all of you to attend the meetings. It's important, right?
and I think you choose 3, but all of us could go. You know,
Right.
but some years there have been a whole lot. And so I can't remember when.
I
A
know
long
we
time
had,
ago,
when I
far
first
away.
started working here, we had a few of them,
Right.
but they don't
Mhm.
happen often.
I mean, there were times that there were definitely more than 3 of us that went to a site visit.
Right. We've gone on some together, way back when.
Yes, Ed?
Just if there's an even number, pro and con, does the chair break the tie? Does it follow Robert's rules?
Yes, it must, yeah.
Doesn't follow Robert's
No, it
rules.
doesn't follow Robert.
Says clearly it doesn't do that, but yes, the chair can vote.
So to break the tie.
Chair can vote whether or not. That's the way I read it.
Yeah.
They vote, yes.
Well, if the chair votes and it's an even, because the chair is allowed to vote. So it could be a 2-2 split. So then I think you'd almost have to call a second meeting in which, you know, the tie can be broken. I would think.
Is there a number in here where you're seeing if it's a tie? Do you see that somewhere? No?
Well, we'd have to consult with somebody. The gods of the Board of Civil Authority and all.
Usually a tie, and it doesn't pass then. So they
Oh,
don't,
yeah.
they would not get
That's Robert's rules, right?
usually, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can check on that.
I'm sure there must be a ruling that, however it's, handled.
And I'm sure that these can include every possible scenario.
If you want to add something in here about that, you can. Because it says the rules may be amended by a majority of the BCA members present. So if you wanted to put something in here that says how a tie would go, you can
Maybe
do
the
that.
way to solve that would be the chair doesn't vote and
Yeah.
accept the pace of a tie.
So we
Then
put
you
that in
always
here
have to-
somewhere.
Safety.
Right, so somebody will have to make a motion.
Well,
Hold on.
why
just-
don't we do a motion to accept with this inserted?
Okay, okay.
Does
a
that make
motion
sense?
is made
Then we are only
by-
doing it
Make a
once.
motion.
A motion to accept the review and adoption of the rules of procedure for the property tax assessment appeal hearings, adding that the chair does not vote, but will break a tie.
Except in case of a tie.
Oh, okay.
That the chair does not vote except,
Except in case of a tie vote.
In the event.
So if you're making that.
Oh, that's lovely too.
So if you're making that motion, Heather,
I'm not making the motion. I'm asking.
we're just
We're just.
presenting it.
I'd like to make a motion
And
that
I'll-
we adopt the rule, the procedures for the tax appeal and with the insertion that the chair does not vote in until and unless in the event of tie.
Thank you, Linda.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
And now we're gonna vote?
And now we can discuss it. Have we discussed it enough?
Wait, who seconded it? Jerry?
Jerry,
Okay.
have we discussed it enough? Going, okay. So all those in favor of approving or adopting the rules of procedure for property tax assessment appeal hearings, in addition to our caveat that sorry guys, the chair does not vote in the event of, that with the insertion that the chair does not vote.
In the event of a tie.
No,
Is
the
that what
chair
you
does
wanted
not
to
vote,
say? Does
period.
not vote,
Does not vote, period.
Except, does not vote, except,
except in the event.
that's what we're doing.
Okay.
All those in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, good. Moving on to our second item on the agenda, which has a little bit more immediate relevance, is our review of the policies and procedure for election day. And I'd like, Amy just to explain, the one change, right?
Okay.
The one major change.
So number 6 with the ballot drop box, we received a new ballot drop box and it's going to be affixed to the porch. And I didn't realize this at the time that I wrote these, that it actually has to be 43 days prior to any election. So I've changed the wording to that number 6.
And so could you just read it to us all?
So, at least 43 days prior to any election, there shall be a ballot drop box secured to the front porch of Town Hall. Ballots may be deposited in the drop box until the close of business day on the day before the election. At the close of business, the drop box shall be closed and instructions affixed to the drop box instructing the voter to return the their voted ballot at the polling place on the day of the election. So
And is
that-
it out there now?
It's not yet. We have to get the Christmas tree down and I have to get the ballot box put together because it's still in the box because we just received it. So Steve is working on putting it together and we're going to put it out soon.
Okay, so do you want us to vote on this?
I have a change I'd like to request.
Oh.
On item number 2, voting booths, we use the word his twice instead of the singular there. His ballot, his choices, I'd prefer it be there.
Number 2, voting booth.
Voting booth.
His ballot should be there.
Oh, yeah, we can change that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I see it. Okay, good. Everyone, we'll ask for approval with these changes. But
So
just-
Amy, one more time, the 40, you're changing that?
We're
to
changing back to that.
43 days?
Yes, so in statute, it says that the ballot box has to be on the porch 43 days before any election.
Oh, it was, okay.
But,
You put 45.
right, but the other piece of it was the local election piece. If you keep reading, it was 20 to 30 days prior, but it can't be that. It has to be 43 for
Okay.
any election.
Okay.
But
So-
so
We should take that.
general election ballots have to be ready 45 days before the election for people for absentee ballots and things. Local elections, it's 20. That's why I wrote that in there. 20 days before the election, the ballot has to be ready for local elections. But the statute for the ballot box says that it has to be out there 43 days before the election,
Any election.
any election.
So that doesn't make any sense.
Right. So the ballot box will be out there
Maybe it's
13 days
Well, no, because
before the ballots would go out.
if the ballots have to be ready for local, 20 days before, this is what I was getting at, because I'm like, is the ballot out there on the porch now? Because we have less than 40 days until March 3rd.
Right. But we
So
don't
that
even
doesn't make
have the
sense.
ballots yet.
But we don't have the ballots yet.
But the statute says that it has
Right.
to be 43 days before.
And again, the only ballots that we'll get in advance this time around is if someone requests them.
Correct.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
So
So
the
we're,
reason I say maybe it makes sense is less people see where they're coming and going, there's the ballot box.
Oh,
yeah, maybe they'll be
Oh,
more
maybe
familiar
that's
with
it.
it being out there, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
so, we'll make those two.
Any other changes? Any other comments?
I don't have a change, but I had a question concerning, people who are observers.
Tell us where you are. Watchers?
For watching.
11?
Yeah, it'll be 11. One of the questions I have, poll watchers who represent a political party, a candidate, or a political committee may challenge a voter's right to vote on two grounds only: that the voter has already voted, and if that voter is not actually the person whose name appears on the checklist. And then it specifically says, asserting that the voter, okay, members of the BCA present must convene immediately to hear the facts. Asserting that the voter does not reside in Chester is not one of the permitted grounds for a challenge. Can you give me the background on that? How that? So if I know this person does not reside in Chester and he or she resides somewhere else and he or she is voting in Chester on a local election, I don't understand why it couldn't be challenged.
Because if they're a registered voter here, maybe they moved and they're still registered here, they haven't registered in another town, they can only vote in one town, right, Amy?
Right,
Yeah, you can only be
Yeah.
registered in
I
one
would think,
town.
I would think your registration would become null and void the date you move out of town.
No,
towns
it
have
doesn't.
done that.
happens when we do the challenges every year, when you go
Correct,
through the
and then
list and you
we-
start looking at it and you say whether you want to
Moved out
challenge
of our
a
home
person or not.
temporarily, we still
And
owned it,
then-
we didn't
and then
rent it, and they didn't, they were trying to pass a school budget that they thought I would vote against, so they canceled my voter registration.
You're not.
That's illegal.
Illegal.
Yeah, but they did it anyway.
And I think, I can't speak to it. We could certainly find out more from the league.
Yeah, you can
But I
read
think that's why
17
that's part of the
VSA
statute,
2581,
is so that they
it'll
don't do
probably tell you.
Okay, everyone's
Yeah.
talking at once. Okay, so we can follow up on that to have more of an explanation, but I think it has to do with the laws and that you can't challenge it because, like, you as an individual can't challenge me because on that, because,
Sometimes
I think
people
it's
are,
subjective.
right, like sometimes people that become homeless, say they are homeless in Burlington, but they were last registered here, they can still vote here. And it's the last place that you were registered to vote, you are allowed to vote. And that's why we have that process of challenging voters.
Right.
So we challenge voters every 2 years? We just did it at the last meeting. So you go through it and you challenge them.
And then we follow up to
And
see.
then, yeah, so you make, if they come in and they try to vote and they're challenged on the list, they have to sign a paper
An affidavit.
and kind of like an affidavit stating that they are allowed to vote here. And then you take them off the challenge list and you let them vote.
But we also can register same day.
Yep.
So people can come in, this is different, but you can come in the same day and say, hi, I just moved to Chester, I need to vote. And you sign up to vote.
I'm just curious as to what checks and balances there would be for someone keeping them from voting in two districts,
Well, I can
You can't be
remember
on two
one time sitting there and someone came in and I think their last address was Bellas Falls. So they came in to vote in Chester. And I remember Deb saying that they had to come back with, I can't remember all the information she was telling them that was required. But they weren't allowed to vote that day.
Yeah.
I mean, they very specifically were told what they had to come back with.
Right. So you have to have proof, like your driver's license or your
Or
social
your,
security
your
card.
bills,
Right, you have to
Sometimes-
have some bills stating that you live in Chester. Yeah. But I mean, that person could probably go back to Bellas Falls and vote.
Yes, they could have, but they weren't allowed to vote in Chester.
They weren't allowed
I
to
know
vote
that.
in Chester.
And you wouldn't know whether they're doing it in both places, really.
You would though, because you can't be on two checklists. They're cross-referenced on the checklist. So if he came to vote here and we pulled up his name and all of his information, his name would pop up and say he's registered in Bellas Falls. Yes.
It's a
okay.
state database.
Yeah.
What's that?
There's a statewide.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, that's good.
So he wouldn't be able to vote in
Okay.
two places.
Any further comments, questions, corrections? So would anyone like to give me a motion to adopt the policies and procedure for election day
With the changes.
with the two changes?
I'll move to adopt the policies and procedures for election day for the town of Chester as amended.
Thank you. That's Tim Roper.
Second.
Second is Linda Dyak.
Okay.
Any more discussion? Am I going too fast?
Hold on, yeah, just
Okay.
just 1 second.
We're just gonna go a little slower.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Any more discussion? Going once, going twice. All those in favor of adopting the policies and procedure for election day, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Okay, they pass with flying colors. Thank you. Okay, so now we're just going to review a little bit about the elections in 2026. This is a really great cheat sheet that Amy came up with, which is fantastic. And it's also going to be in the town report. And it's a really good thing to have at your disposal. So in March, we have March 2nd, town meeting day. Do you want to go through this or do you want me to?
Sorry. I just have to write down Pat's here before I forget.
Do you want me to?
You can go through it if you want to, if
Okay.
anybody has any questions.
So regular time, regular place, they'll also have a Zoom. March 3rd is the town and the school, vote from 9 to 7. That, of course, you guys realize that all of those votes are, from different, the, GMUSD is from all over. So we wait here as, Board of Civil Authority members, we can go and help count, and it's a paper count, but we have to wait until all towns are here to dump the votes, to go through the votes. You have to commingle them before you can count them. And they're paper. So all of you who would be welcome to come and join, probably about 7:15.
7:15, yeah, 7:15.
Yes, Tim Roper.
Can people who are on the ballot participate in that? Yeah.
Yeah, you can, when I've been on the ballot for certain things, I have not. Like for Justice of the Peace, when there was no competition, I did not. But when it was for other things that there were, but we only
It's only
count,
for
but
the
we only
school
count
ballot.
we only count the.
Machine counts the other.
So I think if you're voting, if you're on the school ballot, I wouldn't do that. But if you're on the ballot as the select board member and that comes right through at 7 o'clock, 7:01. You have the
7 o'clock,
results,
you
that's
have to-
just spit
yeah,
out, so
yeah.
that's totally cool.
Yeah, so it's just the school ballot that needs to be counted by hand.
Thank you.
And then August 11th is the statewide primary, same voting times. And November 2nd is the general election, same voting times. And those two, we don't need people to count, but you're more than happy to come. And Amy, if you need workers, you reach out to us if you want us to come
Okay.
help, right?
Yep, and if anybody wants to help, just let me know.
So I noticed, on the policies and procedures for election day, that, appointment of assistant election officials. I know myself, I've, come and helped and things like that, but does that mean that I have to be appointed or being a member of civil authority, Board of Civil Authority, I'm already an election official.
Right.
Right, yep. So if you come to the election and you want to participate, you are an election official and you sign in sheet that kind of states like, it's like an oath kind of that you sign. That makes you like the election
Being on the
official.
board or someone, anyone.
Anybody can, but they have to, I don't know if they have to be a Chester resident. There's some.
I think so. To be an observer, which is different,
That is.
you don't have to be a Chester resident.
Right,
I
but
was
if
told
you,
when we moved here that I couldn't participate in assisting the vote for the elections unless I was on the Board of Civil Authority.
we have election, I thought there was, any voter could be an election worker. Right. Right.
Let's follow up on that too.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that there's even a question when you register to vote, are you willing to be an election worker? On your registration, and you say yes or no.
And by the way, counting all those school votes, you know, I don't know, it moves me.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. It's a silly thing, but
Yeah.
it's like, you know, we're able to vote free elections. I don't know. Anyway, the old fashioned way of
You're
counting.
definitely old school, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
And usually everyone's in a good mood and it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did that answer your question? I don't know if I answered if
Yeah,
any
no,
of
that's
that answered your question. Okay. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions about the elections?
We don't have crystal balls, do we?
No.
Okay, I can't find the agenda. I copied on both sides. Okay, here we are. Any other business? Do you have any other business?
I don't have any other business.
Okay, do any of you all have any other business? Then perhaps we could entertain a motion to adjourn.
I motion we adjourn.
Linda Diak's the motion. Is there a second? Jerry, all those in favor? Hooray. Any opposed? Good. Has there ever been, thank you all, for coming out on this cold winter night.
Yes,
to
thank you.
Get the work done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy.
I'm gonna stop this.
Night.
Thank you for coming, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Can I put this? in
Sorry
your-
I was late. I couldn't figure out how to get on Zoom.
That's okay. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Oh, thank you.
I'm already down. Yeah. Stu Clark.
Vacation with a friend.